Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a new TW9 video. You join us for the Weird Out of Sync video where we're heading into the awards that, at this point, I don't know who's won Wrestler of the Year, but by the time this goes live, we'll know and we'll have an idea of what our plans are going to be, who is going to be tackling 2026 with a chip on their shoulder, try to get up those rankings, because obviously you have your Pro Wrestling 500 as well. And of course, we've got 1 week, 2 shows to book a card for Wrestle Dynasty, which, it turned out when I put my other save on, that wasn't a show on it, so yeah, that's why it caught me off guard. So a lot of it will be open challenges, there'll be a few matches we'll set up on tonight's show for Dynamite, a few that we'll set up on Collision, and then it just depends who we get available on loans from New Japan, Stardom and CMLL. Yeah, it's been tricky to book, and I had to move it to a Tuesday because just the way Stardom shows worked out and the Japan shows worked out in CMLL, that they were basically Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and there was one in a month. New Year's Dash was on the Monday, so yep, we had to move it to a Tuesday just to make sure everyone was available and we didn't get caught out. So hope you enjoy it. We'll jump straight in it, and we'll see how it goes. The card, there's a few matches that I've eyed up. I think I've got 5 that I know for sure, and then we'll see who we get for New Japan and we'll add them in against some of our wrestlers with, sadly, minimal build. But here, let's go. Dynamite first. So we start off with the AEW World Champion. It is Bryan Danielson. And he says, last Sunday night, myself and Kevin Steen went to war. It was an incredible battle, but I'm happy to say I came out on top. Now I'm a little hurt, I'm a little banged up, but I cannot stand still. Next Tuesday, myself and the rest of the AEW roster will head over to Japan for Wrestle Dynasty, where I will put my AEW World Championship on the line. I love Japan, I love the history of wrestling in Japan, so I hope it's going to be a Japanese wrestler who steps up and fights. So I have an idea who is going to be facing Bryan Danielson. They might make an appearance on Collision, and that is a 78 segment. Simple and effective. So we started the show with some good wrestling and a decent reaction from our audience. The team of Ua and Ricochet defeated the Time Splitters, Kushida and Alex Shelley, in 11:55 when Ricochet pinned Kushida with the Benadrylla. This was our Steal the Show matchup. Ricochet, on forum, 91, outstanding. Ua with 69, and some good stuff in there as well from Kushida and Alex Shelley. Overall though, 76 wrestling and an 80 segment. The tag champs are on a roll. Paul Heyman doing some good work at ringside. Quick word from Ricochet, he just says another win for us. He does that again. We're so good, he's just being completely arrogant and cocky. Paul Heyman says, that's right, Ricochet, another impressive one here tonight after the pay-per-view. And it must be said that this was over a team that has a little bit of a reputation over in Japan, the Time Splitters. Well, let's be honest, after that, things don't look too rosy now, and maybe it's not time that we'll be split. There's a hint there where that's going. But alas, next Tuesday, like many, we will travel to Japan, so New Japan Pro Wrestling, bring the best you have to face my clients. I'll see what tag team I can get, and they'll battle Ricochet and Ua, and that was a 67. Next up was an 8-man blockbuster all-star tag, or whatever Tony Khan wants to call it. Decent matchup here, the team of Sammy Guevara, Nigel McGuinness, obviously a bit of history between Sammy and Nigel. Mike Bailey and Nick Wayne defeated the team of Hechicero and the House of Black, Buddy Matthews, Brody King and Malachi Black in 11:49 when Nick Wayne pinned Malachi Black. So yeah, had to keep Malachi strong despite Nick being more over. A 70 for the wrestling, a 64 segment. Yeah, stuff not too rosy at this point in time for the House of Black. Sammy Guevara off his game, and your best performance in there by Big Bad Brody King. Perfect. I wish you'd do that in Mother Save. Backstage, Alex Shelley's kind of just like holding the back of his neck, and he bumps in. Well, Samoa Joe bumps in him basically, and Joe says, "Unlucky tonight, man. I know that you and Kushida can work some stuff out. You'll be all right. I'll catch you later, man." So they have a wee kind of handshake in that. Hechicero frustrated with that defeat. You just hear him going, and all this kind of stuff. Angry. It's angry Hechicero backstage. Joe just says, "Yo, easy, bro. It's one loss. You'll be fine." It's another R from Hechicero. He swings for Samoa Joe, and they start fighting. They cannot be separated right up until we get the ref corps and security who manage to get in between them and pull them apart. So 67 storyline advances in the TNT division. We are going to see Samoa Joe versus Hechicero for the TNT Championship at Wrestle Dynasty. Next up, poor matchup, the Dynamite debut of Valkyrie. She defeats Camille in 8:21 with the guillotine. Storyteller matchup. I just felt like it was a nice chance to take some popularity from Camille over to Valkyrie as we can start the push. She probably should have got a year ago, but 55 overall, it does the job. Next up, it seems it's a disaster after disaster after disaster, but decent matchup. The team of Starlight Kid and Toni Storm defeat Chris Statlander and Priscilla Kelly in 11:10 when Starlight Kid pinned Priscilla Kelly with a sliced bread number 2, Priscilla the weak link. 61 wrestling and a 60 segment overall does not tell the story. We have Toni Storm sustaining cracked ribs. We have Chris Statlander off her game and Priscilla Kelly really off her game. So she had an absolute nightmare. But the main thing in the matchup was trying to get some popularity towards Starlight Kid. But then we have it made official. Tony Schiavone lets us know it's been made official by Tony Khan, Scott D'Amore, Jesse Mackay and the representatives from New Japan Pro Wrestling. It will be Starlight Kid who will challenge Mercedes Moné for the AEW World Championship, or the Women's World Championship at Wrestle Dynasty, and Bayley will defend the New Japan Strong Women's Championship against an opponent yet to be decided. As in, I don't know. But a 53 segment, Starlight Kid underwhelming, obviously have to gain her some popularity, and Mercedes came across well. Next up, Wild Brawl that had some good wrestling and decent reaction from our audience. Ilya Dragunov gets a rebound after his defeat to Walter by defeating Mark Briscoe in 12:29 with the Torpedo Moscow. 75 for the wrestling and a 79 segment overall. 81 for Dragunov against a 68 from Briscoe, who's been pretty solid for us, but the competition just needs to get higher and higher. Quick promo from him, he says, "It feels good to be free again. Now Sunday I was unsuccessful in fighting Walter, but what a feeling. Honestly incredible. I feel like the shackles are off and I can battle until I can no longer stand. But when I say I'm free, it's the freedom to battle whoever I want, wherever I want. Sunday gave me a taste of what I want, so next week in Japan, either someone from New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL or hell even AW, step up, go to war and be free with me." So we're looking at an Ilya Dragunov matchup on pay-per-view versus a mystery opponent, and that was a 72 segment. And our main event was about to had some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the audience. Kazuchika Okada defeats Rocky Romero in 16:59 with the Rainmaker. He carried him in 82, which is good enough to make sure we don't lose any pop. 52 from Rocky, 94 by Okada. And we finished the show with some words from Kazuchika Okada. "For the majority of this year I've stood forward a champion, the best of the best in the world. But last month has been terrible. Losing my AEW World Championship, losing the Continental Classic final, it's unacceptable. Next week we fight in Japan and I cannot return home a loser, so I will win on my return. I'm calling out a champion so we can go to war and fight to the death. Walter, you call yourself a fighting champion? It's time to fight me, bitch." This leads to Walter coming out and he says, "The great Kazuchika Okada, what a great man and what great lows you've fallen to. Many IWGP World Championships, many G1 tournament wins, a former AEW World Champion. Yet after 2 defeats you're stressing and you think you can get over your hump by beating me. Listen, I know the two of us battling will be a battle for the ages, but rest assured it's going to be 3 losses for you, except this one you won't really remember because I'm going to choke you out." So there you go, we are going to see it in Japan next week. AEW International Championship, Walter versus Okada. Storyline advances and gains heat because Okada was added in. And Dynamite, we don't have the hot storylines. It's done me again. I know it's because we're basically, I can't put too many of these 2 storylines because they're only going to last a week and then it's a fresh build after Wrestle Dynasty. So we'll lose the pop in 54 regions. We'll probably lose the pop in 54 regions for Collision as well. But weirdly enough, it has built a lot of stuff towards Wrestle Dynasty, which fair enough is a very rushed together card. So that was Dynamite. I'm going to go and book the B shows. I'm going to see who was in this top 500 and who won all the awards. But for you guys, you already know that, so we're going to move to Collision. So a little quick bonus before we go ahead and do Collision. And I realised that you actually get individual awards for your company. So let's check them out as well. So last year Claudio was our best wrestler. This year it's been awarded to Konosuke Takeshita. We didn't have a winner on the women's side last year, but this year the winner is Io Shirai. So I think we started the save in October, so we did kind of, obviously there wasn't a woman that done 10 matches in that time, because obviously it was rotating to see who was going to be getting pushed, so that makes sense. So Io Shirai. Aussie Open win the Tag Team of the Year after last year being the Kings of the Black Throne. Nick Wayne is the Male Young Wrestler of the Year after last year's Dante Martin. Azumi with the women's one, so that's ideal. Veteran wrestler, similar to how it was Bryan Danielson after Joe won it last year. Serena Deeb's had 10 matches, so she is the female veteran wrestler of the year. And our match of the year was given to Bryan Danielson versus Konosuke Takeshita at WrestleDream. So you can see the jump up from last year, 14 in terms of rating, and Bryan Danielson in both of them. Card of the year obviously went to the Battle of Los Angeles, a jump up from last year's best show of Full Gear, which was a 21. Male manager of the year went to Paul Heyman. Female manager of the year went to Camille, who's not really done much. Male play-by-play was Tony Schiavone. Male colour was Nigel McGuinness. Male referee was Bryce Remsburg. Female referee is Jessica Carr, so you get a nice wee battle between her and Aubrey Edwards. And yeah, that was it. So, we quick round up of that. Completely forgot this was a thing. Time for Collision. So we start Collision with that no good Don Callis, and alongside Konosuke Takeshita. He's a few words for us from the Blue Cross Arena. And Don Callis says, Wednesday on Dynamite, we had the AEW World Champion came out here and pretty much offer out a match for the championship belt. And it got me thinking, he wants a Japanese talent to step forward. Well, why doesn't this man do it? The Alpha, a former AEW International Champion, and next week it is time for Konosuke Takeshita to take that leap to become World Champion. Brian, you want the best this company has to offer, the best matches to end your tenure here in AEW. This man will still be running the show a decade from now when you're at home nursing all the injuries that Takeshita will inflict on you at Wrestle Dynasty. So there we go, that's the matchup I want to go for. Takeshita and Danielson, main event in Wrestle Dynasty, an 88 segment for that. Then had a bout that had some decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Becky Quinn and Valkyrie defeated the Money Corporation's Nixon No and Sky Blue in 12:46, when Valkyrie pinned Sky Blue with the guillotine. I made this a storytelling matchup. Again, it's trying to get popularity onto Valkyrie, but at the same time help develop the skills of Nixon No and Sky Blue. Overall, the segment drew a 63, and I think you can see there who had the better performances. So a work in progress in our ever-growing women's division. Backstage as Don Callis has made his way back, he says, Kyle Fletcher, we see that they've put you in a main event matchup tonight with Swerve Strickland. All I want to say is give them hell, kid. I'll be watching. Your future is bright. So a 75, we confirm what our main event is, as Don Callis may want to get his claws into Kyle Fletcher. Next up, a decent matchup in the women's division. Queen Aminata with the win over Bayley in 12:01, but this was due to a distraction from Tori Storm. If I'm being honest, there was also a promise from Bayley to put Queen over, and I felt like this was a good opportunity to do so. The segment as a whole was a 75, the rest of them was a 72, a 61 from Queen Aminata to 83 from Bayley. So yeah, a shock defeat there for Bayley. We head backstage and we hear from Adam Cole. And he says, at World's End, we showed you all what we've been telling you, and that is that Kip Sabian is nothing but a loser and a weak link. Now, it seems to me that Nick Wayne and AJ Styles still have a problem with the Undisputed Kingdom. Nick, they call you a prodigy. Well, it would be a shame if you can't fulfill that potential when I kick your ass in a few minutes' time. Boom, baby. So, set up for that one, Adam Cole and Nick Wayne coming up tonight. 84 segment, good stuff there from Adam Cole. The future is now storyline advances and gains heat. And the matchup was decent. Nick Wayne defeats Adam Cole in 11:58 by pinfall. Made it a steal the show matchup. Sadly, Adam Cole was really off his game, which could have been a good performance from him, but is a lackluster 65. But it just shows you that Yeah, Adam Cole just seems to be one of those ones that's really hard to get over in a modern day mod, and I'm going to stick with it. We're going to persevere with it. But a good win for Nick Wayne in a 74 overall segment. We then hear from Bayley. She is alongside Renee Paquette, who's going to interview her. Tonight, Bayley, you came up short against Queen Aminata, but you could say that Toni Storm influenced that decision. Your thoughts? Bayley says tonight was a joke. Toni Storm stuck her nose in my business and it cost me. Aminata, I will revenge that loss, so just you wait for that. But Toni, I've beaten you, I've taken your title, and I will defend that title in a few days' time in Japan. Just don't bother sticking your nose in my business again, or I will take action. So a 75 there. Just confirming, obviously, we know that Mercedes will face, I believe I've confirmed it, Starlight Kid. We'll have an opponent for Bayley for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship, and yeah, Toni Storm will be a keen observer to that. Next up, Decent Whale Brawl. Samoa Joe defeats JD Drake in 10:23 by stoppage when JD Drake could not continue. A 10th defence of the TNT Championship. Felt these two would line up well in a brawl. Samoa Joe benefiting from amazing form with a great 78 performance. A 77 match reflects that. Gives Joe all the momentum before he defends against Hechicero at Wrestle Dynasty. Words now from AJ Styles. Adam Cole, hopefully tonight, you've started to learn to take Nick Wayne and the future of this company seriously. You've mentally destroyed Kip Sabian, and it's up to us to try and get him back to where he needs to be. However, he won't make it to Japan, but we will. So Wrestle Dynasty, I will be there, Nick will be there, and I might not have been in the BC for a decade now, but I'm sure someone with ex-BC connections might join up with us. So a 69, storyline advances and loses heat. The plan is, it's going to be someone that didn't wrestle in BC at the same time as AJ Styles. Quite a gap between them, but I'm just using that ex-BC connection just to kind of, who could it be, It's not going to be a massive name. If it is who I think it is, I think it would be someone that Style would mesh quite well with Nick Wayne. So keep that in mind. 69, storyline does lose a little bit of heat. Well, this one sucked, but I think it was because we had about 90 million people in it. So it's words from MJF, but obviously you've got Yuta there, you've got Starks there, and you've got Wardlow. So Hangman Page and the Bucks go out and get Kenny Omega. Typical, huh? As someone else who won't be here and running when we run the show, right? Basically, because Omega's old. Guys, just watch tonight what level that Wheeler Yuta can get to. Watch the level we all get to in Japan when we dismantle some local schmucks next week. This plan all ends with me as world champion, with Wardlow, with Yuta and Starks all elevated to heights never seen before, and you guys are not going to stop me, including you, Hangman. So basically confirming that Yuta's in a matchup coming up against Vikingo. So I think he obviously influenced this segment of being quite poor. MGF, Starks, Wardlow, etc. they'll all be in a matchup in Japan, but they won't be facing Kenny and the Bucks and Hangman. That'll be inevitably down the line. So a 58 segment that loses heat to the storyline. That's a shame. But anyway, good wrestling match, decent reaction from the crowd. Yuta defeats Vikingo in 9:59 by pinfall, made it steal the show. I feel like with Yuta, it was all going well, and then the booking was quite poor by myself. We have to get him back to where he was getting 60-minute matches with Bryan Danielson. But 76 wrestling, 80 segment, great chemistry between them, Vikingo in 80 and Yuta with a 71. Our last in-ring segment is from the Authority Figures, and we start with Scott D'Amore and Jesse McKay. He says, come Tuesday. I had to get that joke in there somewhere because obviously the event's on a Tuesday. He says, we alongside New Japan Pro Wrestling, CMLL and Stardom will present Wrestle Dynasty live in Japan. As you can see, we have an array of matches put together so far. We can confirm those, and we can confirm that many more matches will be discussed and added on the day, to include a plethora of AEW talent alongside their counterparts from other promotions. This is a real chance to see some global wrestling. And then Jesse just adds in, and of course, a chance to see with the best wrestle. So that was my way of covering that there's going to be a lot of New Japan, CMLL talents, Stardom talents that I'll get on loans pretty much when I finish this video, and I'll put in the matches here, there and everywhere. So it will be very, hopefully not too AEW top heavy. But that's how I cover that, because I obviously forgot the event was happening. Main event, superb wrestling, good heat, and Swerve Strickland go over Kyle Fletcher in 21-28 with the Swerve Stomp. Both guys brought a 92 performance, however it was severely hampered by the lack of psychology. So that's something that will obviously come within time, probably more so with Fletcher than Swerve. But we keep wrestling against high-level opponents, then when they get that psychology, they are going to be absolutely unstoppable. So both of them bringing 92s. Kyle's getting stale. We need to look at that one. A 78 segment. Surely psychology didn't hamper it that much. Yep, it did. Wow. So that's something I'll need to work on. 76 overall. Not great. I can understand why they're disappointed with the lack of storylines further because, yeah, a lot of these matches obviously are like a 1 week distraction before we get back to the big build to the next event. But yeah, overall, pretty good stuff. We'll jump to the main screen, we'll look at what's happened, we'll look at the B shows. I won't round up the card because obviously a lot of stuff's going to change getting to Wrestle Dynasty, but yeah, let's move along. A quick roundup of our B shows basically, and seeing the news items that's come in here. Nothing overly affects us here. Paul Turner's just gone obviously full time to AEW, missing out ROH. Ricochet has posted some workout tips. He's inspiring people to train to a new level. I don't know if that changes any of his skills, like his star quality, his sex appeal or anything like that. Let's have a wee quick look. Stamina is the same, athleticism, power, all the physical attributes are the exact same. No improvements to fundamentals. His charisma's went up 2. Microphone up 7. Acting up 7. But the star quality, sex appeal, no improvement. Psychology's up 9, which is crazy. So even at 37, still improving well. And then a few skill improvements there, more so in brawling, puresque, hardcore. Even his flashiness and his aerial his technical hasn't. But yeah, quite surprised with that one. There wasn't any improvement to the fitness kind of side of things. The news items we've got is just basically an extension offer for Felix Fernandez, as he just a referee down in NXT. I don't watch NXT, so I don't know. Shida and Jack Perry both gone from DDT's tour. Paul Turner we know about. Collision got 1.3 million viewers. Shockwave got 3 million. Pat Box says that Valkyrie's going to be a good worker. And Sarah Del Rey says that Julia Hart's going to be a star. So again, we just need to keep working with her stats. So a quick roundup of the B shows. We'll have to go to 2025 for that episode of Rampage. Had a Gabe Kid Angle, which was a 64. Sari defeated Sario Anoy, which was a 56. Some words between Priscilla Kelly and Chris Statlander was a 63 as they try and get their team back on track. Had Rush defeat Ray Phoenix in a 79. We had some Hurt Syndicate business, which was a 70. Some words from Keith Lee, which was a 62. And a main event of Gabe Kidd defeating Mark Davis, which was an 80. Now, it's not the last we'll see of Mark Davis. As on Shockwave, we started with the Juice Robinson defeating Johnny Gargano in a 72. This leads to some frustrations from Gargano, while he's on this horrible run since joining AEW, which is a 77. Takuma Aroha defeated Alex Windsor, and also a 77. Her performances have been utterly outstanding. With some words then from Monet Corporation, Bailey, Mercedes, Nixon and Sky was a 65. Hologram with a win over Isaiah Cassidy was a 73. Some words from Mariah May was a stellar 88. A bit of tension between Malachi Black and Brody King alongside Buddy Matthews and Julia Hart was a 62. Then Brody King defeats Mark Davis in an 80. Then have a bit of frustration between Private Party, which was a 52. And we saw a main event of Orange Cassidy and Mike Bailey defeat the Guns in a 75. So yeah, that's pretty much it. As I say, we are straight into Wrestle Dynasty. That, as I say, will take place on the Tuesday just to make sure and get everybody. The plan is I'm just going to go ahead and do Hunters of Loans right now. One-off appearances. So some will feature on the pay-per-view. The ones that don't will filter into the next Dynamite and Collisions going forward. So yeah, you get a main event of Bryan Danielson versus Carlos Takeshita for the AEW World Championship. You've got Okada versus Walter, and there'll be a lot more matches, as we know. Dragunov's Open Challenge, just to name one. Starlight Kid against Mercedes. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy what's coming up, and we can really kick on into 2026. Remember to check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, Grey Dog Software forums, twdv.com and bethebooker.net, and of course, check out Chris Ormey's YouTube as well, my good friend. So I'll catch you for the next one in a few days' time. See you soon. Bye-bye.